Hi, I'm Cheryl. My husband's name is Bobby. This is our second time being referred here to this agency. Uh, the circumstance is that my daughter Chris went to school and she had whelps on her body because she just would not mind over the weekend. So I had spanked her with an extension cord. So we're here today to kind of, I guess, to help me figure out some better ways on how I can handle my kids and my financial situation that I got at home.
Hey, how are you doing today?
Hi.
Cheryl, is it?
Yes.
I'm Lieutenant Lewis. I work with Texas CPS. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm a little nervous of what's gonna happen, but
What's
yeah.
going on?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? It's the first time I've came across your case. I understand that there's a prior engagement, but please tell me about yourself.
I mean, this is like my second time being here. The first time, like me and my husband, we were working and we were trying to kind of provide for our family or whatnot, and we left our daughter with our friend or our neighbor, we thought, but they end up like leaving the kids in the house. I got two kids.
Okay.
And the cops came and it was like child neglect and so this time me and my husband Bobby, we've just been going through a lot.
Right.
And we just got like a lot of financial burdens. I lost my job because of what happened before, and it just seems like Bobby just can't get right. He just wants to like do whatever he wants to, just be a lazy bum. And I'm trying to find some type of work, but they're just Chris and little Tommy. They just want to do whatever they want to do. They don't understand what's going on. They don't understand the things that I'm going through. And I've done time out. I've tried to say like, hey, we're gonna not like take you places, even though we can't go anywhere. Like, I don't know. I just got so frustrated with Chris. Like, she's the oldest one. She knows better. I don't understand why she just wouldn't sit down when I tell her to sit down.
Right.
And I don't know. I just grabbed the closest thing to me, and I just try to discipline her. Anyway, she goes to school and didn't realize all the whelps and bruises that she had on her from me beating on her or whatnot, and now I'm sitting in this facility again over me trying to be a parent.
Okay. You said you had two kids. Do you mind telling me how old each one of your kids are?
Well, Chris, she just turned 9. And little Tommy, he's 6.
He's 6 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. You also stated that previously you were here because you left the children at home.
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't leave them. I was at work. Bobby was at work. We tried to have our neighbor babysit while we were both at work, and their asses just go ahead and leave the kids too. But because I'm the parent, I'm the one that gets in trouble.
Right. I understood. Completely understood. So I think you understand why you're here, right? I think you have a...
Yeah, kind of. I guess it's just the way that the system works.
So let me try to redirect the way that the system works versus maybe getting you to a place where you can calmly, address different situations, because you seem like you're in a heightened era right now of your life where there might be multiple things that are going on. You mentioned trying to have work. I don't know if work is still taking place right now, but you did mention that at that point you were trying to work. You also mentioned that someone else had to, step in and watch your children, which I can imagine that's hard for you to have to make that choice. And then when they did not provide correctly, then end up in a situation.
Yeah, I get in trouble for that.
I can understand that frustration. So I do work with Texas CPS, and you are fond of kind of what we do, but I want to kind of give you another breakdown of my role and why I'm here for you. So what I'm going to do is kind of provide educational services for you, and I want you to really understand different coping mechanisms and different things that we can work towards, and different community resources that I can align you with, so that you don't have so many stressors at one point It sounds like you and Bobby, am I pronouncing that correct?
Yeah,
Bobby.
Bobby.
It sounds like you guys may or may not be at a heightened interest as well. Whenever you spoke of him a few minutes ago, maybe kind of a distant conversation. Can you tell me about you and Bobby?
I mean, so we've been together for about like off and on 8 years. We were dating back in high school or whatnot, but Bobby just seems like he just doesn't want to grow up. Like at one point, I was like thinking that we could work things out and we can be able to be a family and I get a job and he get a job, but lately he's just been like, I gotta give me my 211. I gotta go ahead and get my red apple ginger ales and all this other. I feel like him drinking takes priority over his actual kids. Like Tommy is his. Yeah, Chris might not be his. I don't know, stepped out on him when we were kind of like in between relationships, but Tommy is his. Like, this is your son. So as a man, I would think you would want to try to, I don't know, get a job. Like, why does it always have to be on me to be able to provide for our kids?
So you feel like there's a lack of support there from him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know if I want his support at this point, because what can he support? He can't even support himself. Like, so how do you talk about support me?
Right, and I mean, I can understand that frustration. You have a lot on your plate, 2 children, and in the midst of job seeking at this time, if I'm interpreting that correctly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to find a job, but who go watch the kids when I'm out, and then I end up being here. Like, that's the last time I lost my job last time, because I had to go through an investigation for like child abuse. Like, I love my babies. Like,
Right.
look, these are my babies. See, look, these are my babies.
Oh my goodness, they're adorable.
They're my babies.
Right, and so childcare being a deep concern, you know, my role as well is to align you with those community resources as I talked about before, you know, so we can look into that so that it opens windows and opportunities for you to have a chance to put your resume together, and there's workshops and there's different resources out there that you're not going to be alone trying to get through in this process.
Yeah, and like another thing, like, look at me. Like, this is like a normal day of attire. Like, I don't have a suit and the whole little heels and stuff like that. Like, who would try to hire me off the street like this?
So I think that you're putting yourself down right now. I kind of feel like you're talking down to yourself, or maybe you're putting yourself where you see yourself right now.
Yeah.
And there's a hope, right? And there's different agencies that will be able to address the different concerns that you have. Attire concerns, resume building concerns. And my job is to align those things for you so we can do this together. So
Okay.
what is your expectation of being here? You know, I felt some kind of resentment for having to sit here right now as another job. So what's your expectation of that?
I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to kind of like get past this in a good way. Like, I just want to be able to get a job and do what's right for my family. But if I have to keep going through this CPS investigation list, and you're a bad parent because you're over here trying to discipline your kids and stuff like that, like, I don't know what I could be able to get from this and the positivity from this. So,
Okay, tell me where your frustrations stem from the most. And let's make a plan, a goal-oriented focus.
I think more so of like, I just don't know what I'm gonna do with Bobby. Like, he's not helping me.
Okay.
So I don't know if I want to still be with him or not. And like, I need to get a job, but at the same time, I gotta take care of my kids. So what am I supposed to do when it comes to, like, I'm tied between this bum who sits on the couch, me not getting a job because I can't get a job due to me dropping out of high school, and trying to take care of my kids. I don't know.
Okay, let's what we'll do is we'll kind of orient you to the way forward, right? So how often could you come if we focused on childcare, and you know, I did my part and we were able to kind of see that availability? how often would you like to come?
I don't know. Like, I was kind of forced to come this time, but you seem pretty nice and chill. I just don't know because like I can't keep having a bus fare coming over here. Bobby has a truck doing whatever he do every day. I could see. It depends. Maybe every other Friday or something. I don't know.
Okay, so yes, you're correct. You have a mandated time where you have to be here. But hearing where you want to be and the different ways that you are able to come will help us kind of facilitate that schedule, right? So let's kind of jump back a little bit and let's talk about Chris, right? And let's talk about the extension court and how that transpired a little bit more so we can figure out the trigger points and get you associated with the right agencies to assist that.
Okay. Well, I love my baby Chris, first and foremost. She was my firstborn. I had her in high school or whatever. Like I said, me and Bobby were kind of like going through some things, and it was more out of spite that I ended up getting pregnant with her. But that's my little angel, you know. That's why I named her Chris. It's just like, you know, she's my little Christian. She's getting older, and I think she's getting frustrated too at the life that we live. Like, she goes to school, she wears pretty much like what I'm wearing. Like, everybody else has gotten nice shoes and everything else. So I think she's just kind of getting frustrated on kind of being different from everybody else. Okay. And so I don't know, maybe with her being aggravated with the way of life and how she feels at school, she comes home and she just don't know how to act. And then I get frustrated with her because I don't know how to talk to Bobby, and Bobby just don't want to do anything. He kind of, like I said, that's not his child, so he's not really engaged with her. He don't really do anything with her. So I don't know, maybe. And I don't want to say I took my frustration out on her because, again, I love my baby, but it's just, I don't know. I don't know how to handle her. I don't know how to get her to mine. Like, I don't know what to do because I don't want her to grow up like me. I don't want her to drop out of school. I don't want her to get pregnant early. I don't want her to walk in my footsteps pretty much. So
okay, so I'm hearing communication might be a barrier that you guys are going through.
You can say that.
You're not being able to communicate with her in a way that she's
like
receptive
how do you communicate to an 8-year-old? Like, you're a child, I'm an adult,
right.
You need to listen to what I'm trying to tell you. I might not be the smartest person in the whole world, but I'm still her mom. Like,
right, so it's hard. It's hard to communicate with children. I can understand that completely. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me a little bit about your family, your mom, your dad, if you would like to share that information?
I mean, they disowned me after I got pregnant. That's pretty much it. Like, I got pregnant in high school, and I ended up having to take care of Chris all by myself. Like, so that's why I had to drop out of high school. I try to do other little side things that I'm not too proud of. I didn't steal though, but you know.
What about the discipline between when you were a child, if you don't mind disclosing, with you and your parents? So, you know, you said earlier in the discussion about trying to get Chris to listen.
I mean, my mom used to beat me too. I mean, I got beat with rulers and switches, and Nana used to be like, go get the switch out the yard. You had to go and pick your own little weapon that you got beat with. But I don't know, it's just like nowadays, it's like you can't even slightly say anything to your child before you get locked up in the jail. So I don't know, again, what am I supposed to do to this 8-year-old child who don't want to listen to me?
Okay, all right, that's fair, that's understandable. I think those laws are set up, right, for the betterment
of laws.
Child Protective Services and the laws that govern child abuse and neglect. Yeah. I understand it's a frustrating situation.
It is. Like, how am I supposed to know that you're not supposed to beat your child with a such a court? Like,
okay. That's you can ask that. That's a fair question. But now that we do know, versus us staying in the past, we're going to focus on moving forward, and we're going to bridge that gap with the communication, and we're going to bridge that gap with the different agency services that we have, right? And we're going to get you involved in parenting classes and additional services for your children, and primarily
Parenting classes, like
yeah. So, you're right. Let me step back. So the services that are mandated, right? Because you were involuntarily told that you had to be here. The state mandates that there's certain courses and things that you have to do to alleviate this portion of what you deem to be a very stressful factor in your situation.
Lord, so that means I gotta be here all the time.
No, that's not what's going to happen at all. So you've communicated to me that there are transportation issues,
Yes,
there's child care issues,
here.
right? And then there's second parent that's in the home issues and that support that you feel is lacking. So it's not necessarily going to be an everyday situation. So that's what I'm here for, to step in and be able to communicate that with the court. Like, hey, these are the things that we're able to do, and these are the things that we're not able to do. To make a guided plan so that you can complete the necessary mandated things that you have to do, but also so that we can alleviate being in that cycle, because I can tell that it's hard for you to be here, right?
It is.
Okay.
It is. I'm so frustrated about it. I don't know what to do. Just, I just want help. I don't want to do this.
It's okay to cry.
I don't want to hurt my baby. I didn't mean it.
Right. So we're here now,
Okay.
right? We're going to focus on moving forward, okay? We're going to get you the help that you need, and we're going to get you the services that are going to build you and your family connection. What would you think about Bobby being a part of this process?
I want to say yeah, but Bobby got his own little mind going on, and like I say, he got the truck now. He could have brought me here, but I don't know what he doing. He might be out there with Miss Becky or whoever that he be messing with. Like, I could try to talk to him, or I don't know, maybe it just come better from you. So it seems like you might have a better way to talk to him, maybe because he has so much like frustration against me too.
Okay,
I don't know. Like, I don't even know if I could talk to him.
Right, that's understandable. But since you said that, I also want you to let you know that things that we discuss are confidential. So prior to you coming in, you signed a lot of forms, and in those forms, they were specific about your limits, or my limits to confidentiality, but your rights to confidentiality. So bringing Bobby in is ultimately up to you. You have your own self-determination to make that choice that he's involved in future services that we, outreach and align together. And you have the option to say that that's not the way forward that I want to go. So I just want to touch on that real quickly with you and let you know that though you were mandated to be here, you still have rights to confidentiality, and those were in that form. Did you have any questions about that? Would you like me to?
So it's just, my high school education only got me but so far. So like some of them big words just kind of went over my head, but I think I got the gist of what you just mentioned when it comes to bringing Bobby in or whatever.
Right. So I just want to make sure that we're exactly on the same page, okay? So with limits to confidentiality is where basically if you have self-harm or you want to harm someone else and you state that in here, so homicidal thoughts or plans or actions or anything like that, then that has to be disclosed, as well as child or elderly abuse. Those things would have to be disclosed to the proper agencies to deal with it. So that's where I am bound to report. So that's where the mandated reporting comes in. But everything.
So I gotta be careful and say like I just want to kill Bobby, because I say that every once in a while, but I'm not really going to kill him. Right.
So let's not say I just want to kill Bobby, but but at the same time, right? Mm-hmm. You are feeling these ways and these thoughts and these things are going on. You are open and able to talk to me. I just want you to understand the ramifications for the things that you do disclose.
Okay.
So Do you have any other questions?
I mean, you seem really cool and all. I just don't know how I'm gonna be able to get up here all the time. Like now I gotta do parenting classes and all the other stuff that I gotta keep doing for all of this investigation with CPS. Like I don't know what do I need to do to come see you or talk about all this, because I think I do still like hone some bad feelings about the situation.
Okay, no, that's completely understandable, and I can understand why you're saying that. So the number one thing that we're going to do when we close this out is we're going to go to the front and we're going to get you on a schedule that works, and I'm going to immediately work on transportation and those childcare services that you need so that you can make this a part of your process and not something that's only mandated, if that makes sense.
Okay. Am I okay with bringing Chris and Tommy? Like,
Absolutely.
because sometimes, you know, it might be better just for me to come during the school year, sometimes it's not, so.
Okay.
It's okay?
Yes, that's okay. We have services for that within our agency. We'll be able to take care of that for you, okay?
Okay.
All right, so today we discussed the goal-oriented plan for us to move forward, all right?
Mm-hmm.
I hope that answered all your questions that were necessary.
Yeah, for now.
Okay, and then we're just gonna get you on that schedule, all right? Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, so
Nice to meet you.
Nice